was it like being up there and speaking in front of a board?
It's honestly nerve-wracking. Like, I wasn't nervous before it that much. I think Mr. Ullman was kind of exaggerating, but but like I was like nervous, obviously, like right before, and then during it, my legs were like literally quaking. Like, actually, like, I'm not even like exaggerating. Like, I couldn't stop my legs from shaking. So even though like my actual speech was fine and I like practiced it a lot and I knew that I was under time, it was still like nervous, I guess.
Yeah. So would you ever do something like this again, like next year, or would you want to focus on a different project?
Next year, yeah, that'd be cool. I'm actually John Greenberg, who's Krista's boss, because she does this as a job, came up to us and was like, if you want to join us, that'd be cool. They kind of said that to all of us, all the girls at least. So I'm thinking about doing that. It's just conflict with sports and stuff, but it'd be really cool to do that.
What are you hoping the board took away from what you said?
I think I stayed a little bit after, and the board was like, seemed very open to the idea of change. So I just hope that they take the ideas of what everybody gave them, and thought about them and how to make them more possible, and make them more realistic.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. How did it feel last night speaking in front of the board?
It was scary because like they're right in front of you, like they hold some almighty power. I mean, they do in a way, but then once you talk, you kind of forget that they're there, unless you look up.
Would you ever do this again?
I guess it depends on what it's for and what it's about. Because like this was an important topic for like everyone.
Like next year for Black Lives Matter, would you do this again, or would you focus on doing something else?
I want to say yes, I'd do it again.
All right. So,
did you learn anything new about like the school board and how like all the changes being made happens?
Yeah, I learned that they have to deal with a lot because it's 2 minutes, but people go overtime and they're like just trying to get their word across. But like once that time's out, you should like let the other person talk. I know it's important, but like there's a time limit. I mean, I tried to respect that. I went over it, but that's okay. I also learned that a lot of stuff is going on with other schools that are really important. About like how a teacher got fired or something, or like escorted out. That was important. And like the trailblazer things, that was important too.
what are you hoping the board takes away from what you said?
I just hope they listened because they have their computers there. Like, I'm not gonna listen. I hope they listened and learned what's happening and like try to help.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
That middle part. Anyway, how was it speaking like at the board meeting?
Well, for me, it was kind of stressful. I signed up. Well, I signed up on time, but I think there were just so many people because this was the only one a month that I got on the waiting list. I was third on the waiting list right after Angel. So I did not know if I was going to speak or not. Nearing the end, it was super close because it was like the last like 3 speakers and they were like, it was like 24 and it ends at 30. So I was like super like nervous that if I was going to speak or not. I kind of wanted to speak because I prepared like this whole speech. I didn't want to just like, not speak. But then I think they ran a little over. I was at the last person or the second to last person. And it was really cool because Krista's group that she was with, they like all talked about like ethnic studies and like the firing of, I forget, Tracy, someone, I don't know her name. But anyway, so there were like 10 different speakers speaking about that and then us speaking about like similar topics, which was super cool. And we had like the people with signs behind us. So that was really nice. Let's see. I mean, I thought it went good. It was really stressful because you're up there, like, you feel alone, even though there's people beside you, and then they're all up there. And I, like, stared at my paper the whole. Maria did a really good job, like, looking up from, like, going down and looking up, but I did not do that at all, which is fine, I think, but I should have done that. I should have did that. And then, yeah, I thought it went good. People were, like, cheering as I did it, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
Would you do this again like next year, or would you want to focus on a different project?
I would do this again next year. I don't know if it would be the same subject, like ethnic studies and all that, but like I also spoke about like white privilege and white fragility. But I think it was a really great project, especially since it was student led. We had like 2 groups, and like I think Ullman did a good job of like teaching, like, but not like taking control of the whole thing. So I think that was great. I would do it again. Yeah. I think more classes need to do stuff like this.
Cool. What are you hoping comes out of this, and like what are you hoping the board takes away from what you said?
Mm-hmm. Well, me and like a lot of other people, I think in my like solutions, I gave, I think, ethnic studies and then like specific training for teachers to be like, know what to do when like students speak up about like racism in class, or like microaggressions, or just like being more aware and not ignorant about this type of stuff, and like, knowing what to do. Because like I think I said this in my speech, I feel like a lot of teachers are just like, oh, that really sucks, but then they don't know how to take action. So I think that needs to be definitely solved in some sort of training. And then ethnic studies needs to be in, because that, I think a lot of history is taught through like white male's perspective, and like we're doing right now, we never even heard of that revolution, right? And that was like apparently the biggest slave revolution in the west or eastern, anyway, one of the hemispheres. So super important, but we haven't even I haven't even heard of that. So I think that's super important to have ethnic studies. I hope there's like specific classes. I don't know if it would be like an elective or like built in. Hopefully built in, so it'd be like required. But yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
So, how was it speaking in front of the board?
Well, I was anxious. I did not have time to prepare myself. I chugged a whole thing of milk, chocolate milk, so my stomach hurt. And I stuttered a lot, and I was really anxious. So I don't think it went well. I didn't execute that well. But I could improve on that next time if I could.
So, would you do this again for a project like this, or would you want to do a different project?
I would like to do that again. I think we got our point across. We made them realize what's actually happening, and I like the idea of that. So I would do it again.
What are you hoping the board takes away with what you said?
I really hope that they start listening, not just to me, but to other people as well. I want them to make a change for once, and I hope they actually take it in and do what we're asking them.
Thank you. How was it speaking yesterday?
Speaking yesterday, I felt really empowered, and especially with my friends and a lot of students from other school and different departments behind me, backing me up with posters behind me. It's just such a movement, and I'm just so like happy to be in this movement with other people, because I think like you go stronger together and you also move further than going alone, and it's just such a good community-based feeling.
Would you do this again for another school project?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I work for the NAACP Youth Council, so this is my job to do school board meetings, but I would love to also encourage my friends that want to share their voice, speak up towards school boards and testify. I think that's definitely what my next step is, to have more student voice, for sure.
What are you hoping the board takes away with what you said?
I really hope that the board listens to us and they really care, because I feel every time that
like we testified, they just say like the same thing over. Like they're always like, thank you, like this really hurt me, this really touched me, or like I really feel for you guys, thank you for all this. They always say that, and I just like really want to see more action based stuff, because all I see is just like them talking, making all these like mandatory trainings for teachers, or like all these rules and stuff, but I barely see like any real action. Like I don't see teachers going to like our Seattle public schools and like seeing how students their experience here in like a real school setting. Like I've never seen any of the school board people meetings, so I think they definitely need to go put themselves into more Seattle schools so that they can see like what it's like for sure.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna go.
As an observer of last night, what did you see from both the speakers in our class and from speakers outside our school?
The biggest thing that stood out to me was that everyone was supporting each other. So when, no matter if it was a speaker from our school or a speaker from somewhere else, everyone, if they agreed, they would nod and say mm-hmm, or clap or snap, and it was really supportive. I love the environment that everyone was in.
Is there anything that was brought up at that meeting that you would like to bring up again for maybe next year, like focus more on?
Just making sure to bring ethnic studies to all the schools, because right now what we're learning is, number one, not at all accurate, number two, sugar-coated, and number three, a single story. So we really need to change that for the purpose of our education, because we're not learning correctly.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Yay! Can